Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be doing something that is very highly requested over on my TikTok and my Instagram. You guys always ask me about my makeup routine, and honestly it's very in-depth routine. I want to give you guys all the details, so I decided to do this over on YouTube so that we have more time to talk about it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to take you through every single product, how I use it, how I apply it, all the tools, all the brushes, literally everything, so that you can have a bomb everyday makeup routine too. I will say this is definitely more full glam. Like, this is not your no makeup makeup. This is not your barely there look. Like, I'm very much so a girl that's all or nothing. I'm either bare face like this or I'm doing a full glam. If I'm sitting down at this vanity, we're getting shit done. This video is probably gonna be pretty damn long, so let's get right into it. First things first, my lips are dry as hell, so this is what I usually like to use on my lips before I apply my makeup. It's the Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. It's not for overnight, but I love that it just kind of like plumps up your lips and makes them nice and juicy while you're doing your makeup, so that when you apply your lip combo, they're nice and hydrated. Okay, you guys, this routine is really just my everyday. If I'm putting on makeup, this is basically what I'm doing. Sometimes I switch up the eyeshadow, sometimes I switch up the cheek combo, the lip combo. I'm always switching out products, but today I'm gonna try to use all of the stuff that's like my fave that I reach for over and over again, that I definitely recommend to you guys. Today is not a day for experiments. You gotta go for the tried and the true so that y'all are looking beat and it's lasting all day. That's my biggest thing. I hate doing touch-ups. Other than my lips, like even my lips, I just don't want to be touching up my makeup all day. I want it to look good from the time I put it on all the way till when I take it off. So that's what this makeup routine is really about. Let's get into it. I always start with my brows first. I know that's a very controversial topic. I'm a brows first kind of girl. I've tried in the past to do it last, and I just always go back to doing it first. I don't know. I think it just sets up my whole face in the way that I like. So obviously you're gonna want to take a spoolie and comb your brows all the way up, just so that they're all laying in the same direction. This is like the millennial in me. I will never not carve up my brows. I'm so sorry. As you can tell, this is my favorite concealer to do it. It is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is in the shade Creme Brulee. There's like basically nothing in here, but I'm determined to use every last drop because that is so rare for me. I never finish a makeup product and I'm like, damn, I made it this far, I can do it. I've got 3 backups though, don't worry. I take like a flat concealer brush. This is an old Sigma one. A lot of my brushes are really old and I've had them for years and they're mostly Sigma, but that goes to show. Sigma brushes are it. I don't really know where Sigma is nowadays, but their brushes are lit because I got them, I want to say over 10 years ago. They look a little worn, but they work perfectly. This is just a flat concealer brush. I just take it and kind of carve out the shape or like the underline of my brow. Just like that, and already like your brows already so much more shaped, defined, which is going to help you like not have to put too much product or go overboard. And my eyebrows are 2 completely different shapes, so I do try to make them a little bit more even. If you really look, like my eyes are 2 different shapes because I had stitches in this eye, so you know, I just make do. As long as both brows end up looking good, that's really all I care about. Then I'll take any kind of fluffy brush. I usually grab this one from House Labs and just blend out the concealer. This is going to act as like an eyeshadow primer. Honestly, I switch up my brow routine like every couple months, but lately what I've been doing is just grabbing this Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. It's the cool toned one, and I've just been taking these 2 shades on the Makeup by Mario like angled brow brush, and I just use eyeshadow to fill my brows. So I take this lighter color here first, MN3, take this in the front of my brow with the lighter color so it's like softer, and obviously the color is going to depend on your hair color, your skin tone, what your brow color is, but I think a good rule of thumb is if you're a brunette, go 2 shades lighter than your hair, and if you're a blonde, go 2 shades darker than your hair, and if you're a redhead, just get like a warm brown. And I usually like to stick to like more cool or neutral tones. You never want to use anything warm in your eyebrows because it'll make them look really red. Like, you think it's just like a regular brown, but if it's warm toned, your eyebrows will look red and they will look really weird. Our eyebrows tend to be a more neutral or cool tone color, unless of course you're a redhead, like I said. Then I took the one on the end here, the darker color, and I'm using this to fill in the arch, which is really where I have like the most spaces and like gaps to fill in. Because this is an eyeshadow, it really does it in a way that's a lot softer than like a pencil or anything. And then I just go in and like kind of clean up the shape of the top of my brow too. Just take this spoolie and comb it through. And I am very blessed to have already naturally full brows, so I don't really have to fill in too much, but I do just like to perfect the shape and fill in any sparse areas because I do have them. If you've subscribed to my channel for any amount of time, back in my makeup days, or if you follow me on Instagram, you know your girl loves a bold brow. I used to get made fun of so much, like in middle school, for having like bushy ass brows and a little bit of a unibrow if I didn't pluck it, because my mom never wanted me to wax my brows. She had destroyed her eyebrows in the 90s and she was like determined to not let me do the same. I thank her every day for it, because look at these bad boys, period. So then I want to set my brows. I love the Refi brow gel. This is so good, but it's pricey, and I found a dupe. Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. This is the e.l.f. brow laminating gel. It's essentially the same formula, but for a lot cheaper. It kind of adds texture to your brows and makes them look really nice and fluffy, and it's super sticky, so it keeps them like really in place. Like, I like my brows more like brushed up and fluffy, and it actually keeps them brushed up and fluffy all day long. It's just good shit. I basically just take it and brush my brow hairs up and like kind of to the side, just like that, and you see the difference. Like, it softened it made them fuller and fluffier looking. I love this brush too, because it really like grips every hair and gets it all the way through the eyebrow. I hate a brow gel that like it's only laying on top and it's not actually like directing the hairs. Like, I want to get all the way up in that brow so that I'm like perfectly laying each brow hair exactly where I want it, and making sure there's enough product that like my brows actually stay. So now that they're all up, I just take the edge of the brush and I just kind of like guide the hairs that are sticking up down, because I don't want to look electrocuted, you know? And in that process of adding the brow gel, sometimes it'll pick up some of the eyeshadow. So if you see any spots that like got picked up, just go back in with a little bit more eyeshadow and fill it in. Now, this is a crucial step too. You want to take a tissue or a makeup wipe, something. I'm going to use my spit because I don't give a shit. And I'm just going to go above the brow and wipe off any of that extra brow gel, because if that mixes with your foundation or your other like face products, it will fuck it up. Like, it will look gross and like cakey and weird and separate it. It's just wipe off the extra product. Crucial step, because if you forget that, your whole base will be messed up. We don't want that. Like, just wipe it off. And it kind of like cleans it up and carves it out on the top without having to use like more concealer. But like, hello, goodbye, that's a brow, bitch. I'm also an eyes first girly. I like to do my brows and my eyeshadow before I go on with my face. So I think it's like the former makeup artist in me. Get all of that messy, like all those darker eyeshadows, get everything blended on your face first, so that if there's any fallout, anything like that, you can just wipe it off and it's not gonna fuck up your foundation. Because imagine we do our whole face routine, we're beat to the gods, and then we go do our eyeshadow and we get brown eyeshadow on the top of our cheekbone because there was fallout. Like, we don't even want to question it. So no, when it comes to eyeshadow, I am the biggest advocate of cream and liquid shadows. I feel like they're so underrated. Nobody uses them and they're so freaking good. And I feel like they used to all just be like shimmery colors, like glitter toppers and stuff, but they started making like actual neutral, nude, brown liquid eyeshadows. I have a few faves, but today I think we're gonna go in with this one from Merit Beauty. The shade is Vachetta, and it's basically like a soft or like a medium neutral brown. This is gonna be the easiest eyeshadow of your life, and these don't crease, they don't budge. Once they're on, they blend really nicely. So I just take like a synthetic haired fluffy brush. This one is Royal and Langnickel. If you have any creases from the concealer on your eye, you can just tap that out really quick. I'm gonna zoom you in a little actually. You just have that on the tip of the brush, and I'm just going to lay it down on the lid and then start to buff out the edges. You want to lay it down lower on the lid. You don't want to take it too high, because once you start blending, for it to be all the way up in your eyebrow. So start it on the lid and then, you know, slow circular motions, just kind of blend out this edge. But do you see that? That was like so easy. I mean, I wouldn't say these aren't the most pigmented. I just always go in with like a light wash because I don't want it to be like too pigmented. You could definitely build it up. I guess it's kind of the same texture as like a MAC paint pot, where it's a cream, but it does kind of like set down and it's not going to crease or anything. So that's basically that. And you can be messy with it. Don't worry about getting it everywhere. And my favorite kind of eye look is basically just like a matte eye with like a glitter topper. And one of my favorites that I've been reaching for a lot is the Moon Dust from Urban Decay. And this is in the shade Wild Dipper. It's basically just like a glitter topper. And I just take any fluffy brush. This one's like old from like a limited edition Wet n Wild, but just kind of any kind of short shader brush. You can also just use your finger and like tap it on, doesn't matter. And then I just kind of pack it on the lid. And then once most of the product is on the lid, I just kind of take the brush up so that it's kind of like dispersed, kind of like a pretty wash of glitter all over the eye. And honestly, I can wear this look during the day, at night. Like, it's so versatile. You could switch up the colors if you want more more of like a gold or a bronze. If you want it to be dark, you can just put like a darker cream eyeshadow under. You can even do like black if you want it to be like super vampy. Literally just 2 products and that's the eyeshadow. I'm not really a winged liner girl, but I do always need something at my lash line to kind of define my eyes and make them look a little bit more shaped. So lately what I've been reaching for is this Makeup Forever Artist Pencil, and this can be used on the eyes or the lips or the face. This is the shade Limitless Brown, and it's kind of like a chocolate brown. So I'm gonna take that in my waterline. I like to take it in the waterline because it just kind of fills in the gaps between your lashes and makes them look like instantly fuller. If you see the difference between this eye and this one, like my lashes look darker immediately just because of that little bit of eyeliner in the waterline. Then I'm gonna take it on the lid and just kind of do a thin line at the front and then kind of make it a little bit thicker towards the outer corner, just like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll show you what we're gonna do after. Just get a little bit of product on there. I don't really take any in the inner corner because that will kind of close off the eye if you take it too far in, but just kind of line your lash line and then, you know, get a little extra on the edge because we're gonna blend it out and wing it out a little bit. Then get any sort of like angled liner brush. This one is from Eco Tools. I'm just gonna kind of go over this and blend it out, smudge it a little bit. And then when we get to this outer corner, I'm just gonna take it and drag out that product, and it's going to give us like the easiest wing liner ever. Don't even sit here and struggle with a liquid liner. Just do this. Like, it's literally so easy. And like, no, it's not perfect right now, but we're gonna clean it up. But like, hello, wasn't that the easiest wing liner we've ever done? I just like brown a lot better than black. I think it's just a little bit softer, more flattering for me specifically. If you're usually like a black winged liner girl, I would try out like a softer, smokier brown liner. Just give it a try. I feel like you might like it. Even if you want it to be even like smudgier, you can take a smudger brush and go over the edge. You want it to be like more blended. You can even do this with eyeshadow. It doesn't even have to be a pencil eyeliner. You could do this with literally the brown eyeshadow. I do that all the time. Now I'm gonna take my handy dandy tissue, get it a little bit wet. You can use a makeup wipe for this too. And then take like the corner of my nail and drag it from the corner of my eye up to the tail of my brow. And that's gonna be like the perfect shape for you, for your specific eye. You just take it from the corner of your eye. So take it from your outer corner and then drag your nail up towards your brow tail, and that's going to give you like the perfect angle that suits your eye shape the best. But you see all this brown that's under my eye right now? Imagine if we had already done our base. Now it's time to move on to foundation. I used to be such a big primer girl, but recently I have stopped using primer and just leaned more into giving myself a really good base of skincare first, and it has done wonders for my makeup in terms of the way it looks, the way it wears, how long it wears. Like, it's literally incredible. So I've been loving this Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum as kind of like a replacement primer, last step of my skincare routine, just to give myself a little bit more hydration. It makes your skin nice and smooth and feel incredible before you go in with any foundation products. Listen, even if you're oily, your skin needs moisture, and your makeup will look a million times better if your skin is properly moisturized before you go in with any makeup. So I like to do that as kind of like a primer, but it's really skincare. Now for color correcting. These are the Huda Beauty color correctors. If you want something more budget friendly, this NYX Pro Fix Stick. I'm pretty sure this is the shade Dark Peach, but they have a bunch of other shades too, depending on your skin tone. I like to use this under my eye. I think today I'm gonna go in with Peach from Huda, and this is gonna help correct dark circles because, well, let me tell you, I got them, girl. Specifically the Huda, it's a really nice thin liquid formula. It's not cakey. Same with the NYX. This is a nice thin like cream stick formula, so it's not gonna like be too thick of a layer under, because we obviously are gonna go over with concealer and powder and all that on top of this, so you don't want it to be like too thick of a layer and then end up getting cakey once we put other stuff on top. And honestly, I like to let that sit for a little, and then in the meantime I will do a little bit of spot concealing. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, but today I feel like I want to. And for that, I typically just use the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This one is in the shade Canal. Brand new jar. I told you I had to back up. And I'll just take that same House Labs brush. I freaking love this brush. And just kind of tap over any spots that are red, discolored, any blemishes you have. I like to go around my nose and my mouth mainly, because as women, like hormonally, you get a little bit more red there. And doing this tiny little thin layer of concealer under will make it so that you can use less foundation, which ends up being better because it's not as cakey. You don't have too much product on the skin. So even though it's an extra step, like an extra product, it ends up being less makeup because you're using less foundation once these blemishes are covered. And this right here is actually a birthmark, but the foundation is going to mainly cover it anyway, so I usually just cover it. But I do love her. It's my little Harry Potter birthmark. Yeah, using like a fluffier concealer brush like this, you just get kind of like a veil of concealer, and it's not too much heavy product sitting on the skin. And look how much even our skin looks even before foundation, just with that little bit of concealer. Now that this is set a little bit, I'm gonna take the same brush and just kind of tap it out. It's gonna look crazy until we go in with our brightening concealer. Just trust the process, girlies. Color correcting under your eyes is gonna give you such a nice flawless under eye. You can also use this peach product like if you have darkness around your mouth. I know some women that have like PCOS, they get like, I wanna say like melasma. You can use it anywhere that you have like darkness to brighten it up under your foundation. I use a ton of different foundations all the time, but today I want to talk about my absolute favorite. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear, and I got my makeup done this week for a photo shoot we did for the wedding, and the makeup artist I went to, she used this on me, and I was like, dude, I forgot how much I love this, and my skin looked so incredible, so I was like, no, I have to go back. I have to go back. This is actually a brand new bottle. I like re-upped on it, and then I started using other shit. But some other foundations that I've been loving as well. If you want something like everyday, lighter, I mean, it's still gonna give you really good coverage, but it's like more skincare based. Your Skin But Better CC Natural Matte. They also have the regular and they also have the glowy. I really like the matte one because it does keep you matte all day long. If you want something more affordable that's more lighter weight, the Super Stay Skin Tint from Maybelline is incredible. Newer to me that I've been loving, the new Huda Beauty Easy Blur. Oh my god, to die for. And if you want something more full coverage, I would go for the Face Bond from Urban Decay. And another top favorite of mine, the House Labs foundation. This is really nice if you want a nice satin natural kind of medium coverage. This is a beautiful foundation. Okay, but today we're going in with our handy dandy NARS, and this is the shade Santa Fe. Like the NARS pump, it's like a very little amount of product, so it's gonna look crazy me going in with 5 pumps, but it's really not nearly as much as like 5 pumps on another pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 1.5 pumps on a regular pump. For whatever reason, the NARS pumps are like really tiny. I like to just get it on my finger and kind of slap some on around my face. And then, oh my god, I was a sponge girly for my foundation for the longest, but once I discovered this brush, like I have not gone back. This is the BK Beauty 101 brush. I found this on the TikTok shop, and I was like, you know what? If the girlies are saying it's good, I want to know. I want to know. I am probably the most skeptical person ever because I hate foundation brushes. Like I can just never get them to work right. But this one is unlike any other. It blends out foundation so quickly, so nicely. I always felt like when I used a foundation brush as opposed to a sponge, it took me 10 times longer to blend because there were streaks and it just like wasn't as big as like this surface. So I was like, why would I do that if it's not even like, it's taking me twice as long to blend and it's not even nicer looking. Look at the coverage, the finish, and it feels so lightweight even though you're like literally full coverage glam, and it wears so well throughout the day. I'm gonna blend this out, then I will show you what I do, because this big ass brush, if I start to blend too close to my eyebrows, I will fuck them up, and we can't be having that. Basically, I'll just grab that same concealer brush I used earlier to carve out my brows with the concealer and just get some of the foundation that's on the back of my hand and just kind of go around my brow so that I don't fuck up all that hard work. This is basically the concealer version of this brush from BK Beauty. This is the A506. I kind of blend it around the eyebrow and between the eyebrows too. Okay, I know I still look crazy with this under eyes. Don't worry, trust the process. But that is the foundation done. Now we're gonna move on to cream contour. 3 that I use the most, the Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick, and this is in the shade medium. I really like this one, great shade. The LYS in the shade Harmony. I got this on the TikTok shop, but they sell it as Sephora too. This one is really pigmented and really, really creamy. Great for beginners. And also the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer. As you can tell, I love her, but lately I've been reaching more for this one, so I'm gonna use this today. The brush I like to use for this is the Makeup Forever 109 brush, and I prefer to actually apply it to the brush and then the skin first. I don't like to draw lines on my face that you see a lot of people do, because I feel like it's just wasted product. You don't need that much, especially with this. It is super pigmented, and I also feel like I have more control to blend it exactly where I want, and it's just the perfect amount of product. So I basically just tap it. You really don't need much at all. You just tap it a little, and I go right here on my forehead, and then I like to take my contour like higher up. I take it like on the cheekbone as opposed to down here. I think it lifts the face a lot more. I find that if I like take it right there in my hollow and like under, it just drags my face down. So I like to keep my cheek products really high up. It really just makes all the difference in the world, I'm telling you. You can use any kind of like flat top kabuki brush for this. This is just the one I've been reaching for. I love it. I like that. And then I take a little bit and just kind of carve out my jawline. I put most of the product here and then just drag it up so it's not like a huge demarcation. Just a little bit of a shadow. We still have to contour our nose, but we have a few more steps before we get there because if we do it now, it'll just get covered up. This is a little blush combo I've been loving lately. It is this ColourPop, their new weightless liquid blush in the shade Super Shy. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this on the back of my hand. It's like a really pretty rosy pink. And I like to use some sort of fluffy round top kabuki brush for this. And I just pick it up on the back of my hand. I like to control the product on the back of my hand. It's just a lot easier instead of drawing dots on your face. And then what if you put too much? So you just blend it onto the brush and then tap, tap, tap. Like I said, I like to go higher with my cheek products. So I'm basically putting this like under my eye, where a lot of people put like highlighter, and just bring it all the way up until my temple. I'm a blush girly, so if you don't like this much blush, maybe don't go up to your temple, but I think it looks good on everybody, so try it, girl. And these ColourPop liquid blushes, the formula is really nice. It's not as pigmented as the Rare Beauty, but I kind of like that because it's not as intimidating. Like you can really build it up rather than having to put like one dot and blend it out. It's a little bit scary. I always like to take a little bit on my nose. Now for under eye concealer, this is going to be the brightening concealer. My ride or die under eye concealer is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. This is in the shade Cedar. I usually go for Silk. I accidentally bought this shade, but I have it, so I'm going to use it. And I just take it right under the eye right here. You don't need to do a whole triangle. We already color corrected and the stuff is really nice and full coverage. Do a little bit down my nose, a little bit in the center of my forehead, cupid's bow, chin, and that's it for today. One time I was doing my makeup with my friend Sarah and I was like doing the concealer like this. She was like, why do you put it there like down the center of my face? I was like, I don't know actually. Like I know it's like to brighten, but like is it really doing that much? But it's kind of out of a habit. Like it does brighten a little bit, but like is that really that necessary? I don't know, girl. Once you start doing things, you never stop sometimes. Now I'm gonna let this sit for a couple seconds because I like it to kind of like dry down and adhere to the skin before I blend, because it just gives you better coverage. But to blend it out, I do love the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. Ever since I discovered this, I stopped buying beauty blenders because I just love the shape of it. It's just so good and it's a lot cheaper. You can get a 2-pack for $8 as opposed to one beauty blender for $20. Probably more now. I haven't bought a beauty blender in years, but I will say always get the double pack because for some reason the single pack is like a completely different material and the texture is not the same. The double packs are the right ones. I don't know what they're doing over at e.l.f. that they would change that between a double pack and a single pack, but there's a difference. That sat for like a good 60 seconds. Now I'm just gonna take my sponge and I like to blend out the concealer in the center of my face first and give that concealer under my eyes a good amount of time to kind of set and adhere so that we get the best amount of coverage under there. And then I just take this, and lately I've been trying not to go all the way up in my inner corner because it ends up getting my eye and fucking up everything because then my eye starts tearing. So I'm trying to be a little bit more careful about blending out my concealer, not too close to my waterline. I haven't filmed a YouTube video in so long, so being able to talk freely and not be like in a time constraint, it's freeing. It's freeing. If that concealer blended that blush out too much, just go back in with that brush, no additional product, and just kind of like merge the two together. Hello, flawless under eye. We're not even done yet, but she's looking great. Now is when we can go in and contour our nose. Same product, but different brush. I use the Patrick Ta nose contour brush. This side I use for cream, so I just get a little bit, and I first go under my lip, just a little bit right there, make it look a little pouty, and then tiniest bit of product right down the sides of my nose to contour it. The stuff, like I said, very pigmented, very creamy. You only need a little bit. And I do like to take it all the way up until my eye, just follow it straight through. And then I'd like to take a little bit on my nostrils as well, because I just find if like you have contour on the sides of your nose and then your nostrils are like bright white from the concealer, just looks weird. I like to take just a little bit on the tip and also on my nostrils. And that is a nose contour. Next step, we're going to set our under eyes. This is a 2-step process for me. I specifically bought this little mini of the Kosas Cloud Set powder. This is in the shade Breezy. It's like one of their lightest shades that's a more cool tone, like more pink undertone. And I take my sponge. You gotta make sure you tap out any creases in your under eye concealer, and then you're gonna get it on the same sponge. And basically, hold on, I gotta get up close in the mirror for this part. Make sure there's no creases, and then look up, set that under eye concealer with this powder. And this is gonna give you an extra boost of coverage. And the finish of this powder is so finely milled and so nice and soft. I don't remember who I saw first do this, where they did like, they set it with a pressed powder and then baked with loose powder after, but it changed my life. I can't even remember who taught it to me, but it was life-changing and I never went back. Like, do you see that? Now we're gonna tap in to the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powders. We've got two. We've got Cherry Blossom Cake. This is for under the eyes. And we've got Cupcake. This is for all over the face. We're going to start with Cherry Blossom Cake. Huda Beauty also makes these little tiny powder puffs that are perfect for under the eyes. So Cherry Blossom Cake is a pink loose powder. And so this is going to be really nice and brightening under the eye. Get that on your sponge. I like to tap off any extra on my hand. And then I kind of reverse contour with this. So drag it down the sides of my nose first. And then go in and tap it under the eye. And it's going to just blur everything together. Set that even further. Brighten it. I even like to take this just like over my blush to kind of set that because it's pink, you know? We're done with Cherry Blossom Cake. Now we're gonna go in with the bigger powder puff and Cupcake, and we're basically just gonna get some on there, tap off any extra. You kind of just want to work it into the puff really nicely so there's not like too much extra, and just basically pack this on everywhere else on your face. And this is gonna lock all of that liquid makeup, all of those creams and liquids, lock that in place and set it. And I like doing it with a puff and a loose powder better than like a pressed powder and a brush, because I feel like it really locks it in and kind of like blurs everything. This velour puff is like a dream when it comes to texture, because I feel like sometimes you can put a powder with a brush and as you're swirling, it's like picking up hairs, it's picking up product, like it's kind of disturbing things. Whereas if you just press it in with the puff, it just makes it so, like, do you see how airbrushed I look right now, bitch? Like, oh my God. And make sure you get under your jawline too, because we did put cream contour there, but we're set. I didn't really go over my nose, so I just go over with the powder puff a little just to set that, and then I take some kind of like fluffy brush, just very gently wipe away any excess product that's under the eyes, because we did apply more powder under there than anywhere else. Coming together. Now that we locked in all of those creams and liquids, we're going to go in with our powder cheek products. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I'm in the shade medium. And if you didn't know, this compact is actually refillable. So I already went through one whole pan and I just popped in a new pan of the actual bronzer in this like 2 days ago. So I'm really excited to have a fresh one. And I'm going to go in with the Patrick Ta contour brush. So this is like the nose contour brush, and then this is the contour brush. And I love this side for powder bronzer. It's just so nice and fluffy. We're basically just going to go over everywhere we put that cream contour and buff it out. And because this brush is so nice and fluffy, it's going to just blur everything and blend so easily. And then for the nose, I just flip it around to the fluffier side of the nose contour brush and just go over that. And I always like to bring it up into the crease for the follow through. It's those little steps that elevate your makeup and make it look more professional. And then under the lip. And if you ever like get your bronzer down too far, you just want to clean it up because, you know, it's getting muddy or it's like you're losing the shape in your face, just take your puff. You don't even have to get extra powder, and just kind of like reverse contour, just go under that line. These new Buttermelt blushes from NYX are fire. This one is in Butter Together, and it's a beautiful true pink. And I just take this on any kind of like angled fluffy blush brush and pop it on top. I like to do kind of circle motions just to like really blend it in. And this has like sort of some kind of like pearl in it. It's not too like shiny crazy, but it just gives the cheek a nice glow. And like I said, I take this shit up pretty high. That's why I've been tending to use like a smaller blush brush, just so that it kind of fit under the eye a little bit better, because I end up taking it pretty much all throughout my under eye. And a little bit on the nose. Like I said, I'm a blush whore. I love a good baby pink blush. Like, do you die? Do you die? Honestly, controversial, but I no longer use highlighter on my cheeks. I don't know what it is. One day I just said, I don't even think that looks good anymore. And I stopped and I never looked back. But I do love this Benefit Tickle highlighter. I love to take this just on like a little flat shader brush just on the inner corner. It's more pinky, so it's not like blinding glazed donut highlight, but it just gives you a little bit of light in those little high points of your face. And I also like to take a little bit on the cupid's bow and then on the nose, but nothing crazy. We're not 2016 blinding. If you like that, go for it, girl. This is a great highlighter for that too. I just find that it adds texture to the cheeks, and I want my face to look smooth as hell. And I find when I put highlighter up here, and maybe it's just my face, it just looks really textured, and I'm just not a fan anymore. But I do love a little nose and a little cupid's bow moment. So our face is pretty much done. I like to go in with setting spray before I do my lashes and my lips. I don't even really know why. It just feels right to set it right when it's done. So let me tell you about the ultimate setting spray combo that's gonna lock your shit in place for the entire day and look beautiful the entire time. We're gonna start off with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. As you can see, I love her. This is like my 6th bottle of it, and clearly I'm due for a new one. You're gonna drench your face in this. This goes first, okay? Whew. Just like that. This is going to melt everything together. It's going to set everything, blur all your products together, bring life back into your face so you're not so powdery looking anymore. That's what this is gonna do. You're gonna let that dry. And once that is pretty much dry, you're gonna go in with the One Size On Till Dawn. This is the mattifying waterproof setting spray. This is the setting spray that is going to lock everything in place and keep it from budging. If you sweat, it's gonna keep it on all day. This is gonna lock and load that shit. It's kind of like hairspray for the face, basically, and it smells like it. So hold your breath when you spray it and like wait a few seconds to open your eyes because it does kind of sting. That's why I do my lashes after this, because my eyes sometimes do tear and I don't want my mascara running everywhere. So I just say when you spray this, it works like a freaking charm. It is very alcohol-y, so just keep your eyes closed for like 3 seconds before you open them after you spray it. And this combo together, like all day, every day, locked and loaded. She's pricey, but she's worth it. Speaking of pricey, L'Oreal just launched Fallible 3-Second Setting Mist. It's very similar to the One Size. It's a smaller can. It's obviously a lot cheaper. If you want a setting spray that's going to be good for keeping your makeup on all day on like a daily basis, like every single day, like for work, and you just don't want to bite the bullet and get the One Size, I would give this a try because it is really good. Now we're going to move on to lashes to finish off the eyes. I get so many questions about what strip lashes I use when I do use strip lashes. I had lash extensions for years and I recently got them off. I got a lash lift and tint and they are pretty lifted still, but lately I've just been feeling like a girl wants some more lashes. So I went back to my old faithful. These are the Kiss So Wispy number 01. And I always get the multi-pack because I love them. If you're like a glam girl, this is an everyday lash. If you're not the kind of girl that wears lash extensions or fake lashes, this is gonna be very dramatic for you. But for a girl like me, this is every day. They're not too thick. They're just very, very long and they're like cat eye. So let me get these off the package and get some glue on them. But one time my best friend needed lashes and these were the only ones I had because this was when I was wearing lash extensions. So she was like, Ash, do you have any extra lashes I could use? And we were going to our other best friend's wedding. And I was like, yeah, I'll bring them. And so I brought these, my handy dandy Kiss number 1. I'm like, yeah, they're my natural lashes. And when I tell you, my best friend Raquel put them on and she was like, Ash, what the is this? Like, I look crazy. I can't go out like this. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're my natural lashes. And I go in the bathroom and I'm like, oh no, you can't wear those. That looks like, they were like up to her, they were past her eyebrows. They looked, I don't know what it is about. Maybe she has like a smaller eye than me. I don't know. But I was like, yeah, no, I'm so sorry. But for my eye shape, they're great. So this is the Lash Couture Super Strong Lash Glue from Kiss. I have the clear and the black. I typically like black. I think once you put black mascara on your eye, and if you have like a darker liner at the lash line, you know, clear gel, it's clear, but it still has that like weird translucent look. So I prefer black glue, but they both work great. So if you're looking for a good lash glue, this one's great, the black and the clear. And it's like a brush on formula, so it's really easy to control. But I put the glue on first, right? And then I just set it down on my vanity so that I can start to get tacky. This is the hack when it comes to lashes. You got to get that glue to be basically just about dry before you put it on because you don't want that glue slipping around everywhere. You want it to be really nice and tacky. And I want to say like 70 to 80% dry before you put it on because otherwise it's just a mess. Let the lash glue dry as I'm doing mascara. This one is the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water Clean Mascara. I love the brush. It reminds me a lot of like the L'Oreal Voluminous, but a little bit tighter even, so it really grips your lashes. It's a great mascara if you're not putting falsies too, but I'm just doing a quick coat of this to put on the false lashes. I like to do mascara before I put on the false lashes because I don't like to put mascara on my false lashes. As long as I don't get mascara on them, I can use them over and over again and they're just like brand new. But you still need to coat your lashes so that they blend into strip lashes better. Then I grab my tweezers and I always have trouble remembering which one I put glue on first. But I remember this time. Now I'm gonna like look down into my mirror. I'm gonna take the tweezer, get it like right at the base like that so that you have more control. And I'm gonna pop it down in the center first and then go ahead and tuck that corner down and then the inner corner down. If your glue is too wet, it won't stick down. So you wanna make sure that your glue is nice and tacky. And if it still isn't sticking down, just kind of like hold it there for a second like that. Now let's do our other guy. And and they still kind of look a little bit crazy, but we have to let them fully dry before we do anything else. But we're gonna curl them at the very end, and it's gonna make everything look a lot better. But I will say, ever since I started doing like just mascara, these lashes look very dramatic than I used to think. Also, this is very specific to me, but I have a beauty mark right here that I like to fill in. This is a random like body marker pen from Bic in a brown color. Got this in like an Amazon PR package, and it's just literally the perfect thing to fill in any beauty mark. I literally just do a dot, kind of tap it out, and my beauty mark is filled in. For lips, I'm just gonna do my Old Faithful lip combo. This is Makeup Forever Versatile Chestnut Artist Liner. I use Limitless Brown on my eyes, and Versatile Chestnut is my favorite shade for my lips. This is a lot darker. I like a darker lip liner. I know a lot of people don't, but this is my favorite lip liner shade. So I overline my lips, but really just at the Cupid's bow. I draw a little bit above my lip line up here, and then towards the corner, I follow my natural lip line. Same for my lower lip. I follow my natural lip line on the outer corners, and then in the center I overline it. And then I just kind of drag it in the outer corners just so it blends a little bit better. And like I said, I like a darker lip liner, but you know, that's completely personal preference. I just like more of like an ombre lip look, and you can take your finger to blend it out, just so it's not like a harsh line or anything. And these liners, they last all day. That's why I love them. And all the shades are like beautiful. If you want something more toned down and not this dark, I would go for Anywhere Caffeine. That's what that looks like. It's more of like a medium brown. For my favorite lipstick, this is Pillow Talk Fair from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a really nice kind of like nude pink. I just put most of that in the center and then blend it in with my finger. So it's like more of like an ombre lip. It's not just like one dimensional. And then my favorite lip gloss ever, Lawless Forget the Filler, and this is in the shade Daisy Pink. It's just the perfect baby pink. And this formula is just to die for. And is that not the perfect pinky nude lip combo, bitch? Yeah, this is like my favorite lip combo of all time. 2 more steps and then we're officially done. I don't usually like take any eyeshadow under my eye, only if I'm doing something like smoky, but not really on an everyday basis. But I do like to do a brown mascara on my lower lashes. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex brown mascara. And I just do a quick coat. And I don't know, something about the brown, I think it brings out my eyes, and I just prefer it over a black mascara. Typically, if I'm not doing false lashes, if I'm just doing mascara, I usually reach for a brown mascara. Okay, last step, I promise, like this is literally it. Just take your lash curler and you're gonna go in and curl the fake lashes with your natural lashes. Just get it right at the base and just press, and then very carefully kind of peel it off. And that is going to do 2 things. It's going to really secure those lashes down because they're kind of like glued to your lashes now. And then also it's going to blend them all together and kind of stick them straight up, and it's gonna like open up your eyes a lot more because they're sitting straight up instead of like straight out, and you look like a goddamn doll. And that is the makeup routine. I know this was very long, it was very involved, very detailed, but I wanted to do that because I get so many questions about my makeup, and honestly I could talk about it all day, so I was like, let me just do one long video of like the full actual process, talk about all my favorite products, the brushes, like literally everything. And so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. I'm gonna leave links to literally everything I talked about down below in the description box for you guys. I will label everything so that you know exactly what you're clicking on if you want anything. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what other YouTube videos you want to see from me, because I am trying my hardest to get back on here. I miss you guys so much over here. And if you're coming over from Instagram or TikTok, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you are notified whenever I upload anything over here before anybody. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next one.